So today we're going to be talking about fox traps, the ones that we use, the reason we use them, and in our opinion, just what the best overall fox trap is. We're going to go over the price, our experiences with them, the quality, and then why overall it's the best trap of the day. We'll start down there at your end. We'll go from highest end to lowest end.
Now these ones right here are the best because they don't hurt. Now these ones aren't too bad because they don't hurt neither.
But these
Yeah,
ones,
and then
these ones down here definitely don't feel good though. That did not feel good because they're not thick cast jaws.
got thick laminated jaws.
I don't know how I'm going to get this off my hand.
Well, you're kind of screwed because I'm kind of screwed.
Go for another.
Well, I'm kind of out of options. See, they're not that bad.
Got one more left.
Here, get that one off. They're not that bad. Okay. They're not hurting, but it's kind of annoying. Here, push them down.
Let's do wolf traps next.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
We're not doing that one. Thin jaws, thick jaws. Thick jaws are way better.
But in all seriousness, we'll go ahead and we'll start with Dukes. The reason that we did that, one thing we wanted to illustrate is we kind of have these traps, or at least in my opinion, I can't say from his opinion, but these are kind of organized in from best to worst. The only ones I might move around, I would probably put the MB550 a little bit lower just because of the size, but I am not a fan of Dukes at all. I think Duke makes a great DP because it's a DP, and I think that Duke makes good cage traps because they're cage traps, and I think that Duke makes good conibears because it's a conibear. But I don't like any of their footholds. They're cheap. Everybody knows that. That's why they're the cheapest trap in America, as far as I know. Anyway,
They're a budget trapper.
That's all they are. Now, look, if you're new into trapping and you're afraid to sink a lot of money into it, there's nothing wrong with picking up some Dukes. We all did it whenever we first
We've all
started.
used them.
Yeah.
They hold coyotes.
Yeah.
But you'll have to work on your trap normally after you catch one. They'll bend them up. You got to just bend it back. Just go on about your business.
Yeah. I mean, you got to work on them, and I prefer a trap I don't got to tinker with every time I get back to the first hit.
I just want to get animal out of it after I get it dispatched, put it back in the hole, and go on about my business. I ain't got time to fool around and work too much. Got too many kids. That's just, I ain't got time for it.
Yeah. The other problem with Dukes is, unless you get one of their MB knockoffs, they've got them real thin jaws. Those real thin jaws are going to cause more bones to break. It's going to cause more damage to the animal, which we don't want. We don't want nothing to do with that. Remy's playing with a chicken. Is that a chicken?
Yes.
He got it in the net.
Oh my gosh. Bridgers are the same way. I like Bridgers a lot more than I like Dukes. Well, we're back, and I have a chicken because Remy is literally the embodiment of autism. All right? So I'm not sure where we left off, but I'm going to get back on to Bridgers, and I'm going to put this chicken down because I don't know why I'm still holding this thing. And if you could stop molesting the wildlife, that'd be appreciated.
Go lay an egg.
But, so the reason I like Bridgers substantially more than Dukes, I think that they're very similar. They look very similar, but they're built twice as strong.
Better steel.
Yeah, they're just a better trap. The other reason that I like this Bridger, it's a dogless. It's got a really big pan. You've got more odds of that animal stepping on that pan. It's just a substantially better trap. But it's not my favorite for fox because it still has thin jaws. And it's got way too much snap. You're looking at causing issues. It's just not that great in my opinion. My personal favorite fox trap is the third one on the row right here, is an MB450. They got real heavy, real thick cast jaws. They don't snap nearly as hard. As you saw, he literally stuck his thumb in it, and it didn't bother him one bit. If he can stick his thumb in it, a fox can stick its leg in it, it's not going to
They're a
hurt.
bigger boned animal than my thumb.
Yeah, so it's just a good trap. They don't snap hard. They got the real good thick jaws. The only thing I don't care for them is the pan is like half the size of a Bridger. But they're a good trap.
They're 1.5. I mean, that's a number 2. That's 1.5 basically.
Yeah. So it's just a little bit of a smaller trap, but they're good traps.
But if you happen to get a coyote, a bobcat, step in it, nothing is going to tear these traps up. Nothing.
They're super high quality.
Yeah, they're made out of the great steel.
Yeah.
I've caught coyotes in them, and they sit in there all day until I get off work. They ain't got much choice.
Yeah, they're good traps.
They'll hold anything.
The next trap on the list is an MB550. They're ergonomically the same as a 450. They're just bigger.
Yep.
The reason I don't like a 550 for fox trapping is because they're bigger. You got more of a chance of a fox breaking its leg, a fox, the hide taking damage. And at the end of the day, we're not trying to hurt the animal. We're just trying to get the animal to stay in one place till we can get to it. So, other than the size of the trap, like I love MB550s. They're great for coyote.
Hands down.
They're great for coyote. They're great for bobcat. They're a great overall trap. It's just a little bit too big for fox. And Adam, I'm going to let you I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you talk about Canine Juniors because you are the no BS guy. You know all about these traps.
I love these things. They're just so much thicker than anything. Maybe not the greatest fox trap in the world, but it'll definitely catch them.
And that's not a Canine Extreme. That's a Canine
This
Extreme
is just
Junior.
a junior.
It's not a 4-coil. It's just a
Nope.
standard 2-coil.
If I got them in a 4-coil and they were just too much to set. And anything around here, a 2-coil is all you need.
Yeah, and I don't know where you guys are watching from, but speaking on 2-coil, if you live anywhere, pretty much anywhere, unless you're wolf trapping or you've got massive dogs, you do not need 4-coils.
Unless you get in a frozen ground and you need that extra little bit to get out of that frozen ground, that's all you need a 4-coil for. I've caught 40-some pound coyotes, 30-pound bobcats. I mean, right here's plenty. And this one's plenty. If you can get his paw in it, he's gonna be there.
Yeah, well, we were just talking, we were waxing on traps, and we're going to go over this in another episode, our favorite beaver traps, but I've got 5 or 6 Bridger number 5s, and we were just talking about, we've taken all of our 4-coils off of them. You do not need 4-coils for any beaver. There is no beaver on God's green earth that you need a 4-coil. You're just making it harder to set. You're not helping anything.
Your main goal in beaver trapping is to get as many set as you can.
Yeah.
And having to sit around and fight with a 4-coil trap, trying to get
It's
that.
not worth it.
You're in the mud, trying to lay it down on the ground, put your knee on it. Those TS-85s, you just stick them on your leg, bend them over, and you're done.
Exactly. And now we're going to go over the prices because at the end of the day, we all know the fur market's not super great. So the main purchasing power or the main incentive that you might have for buying a certain trap is the price. Well, conveniently, we have the traps organized from cheapest to most expensive. But Adam, if you want to go over the trap prices, we'll start with the Duke number 2. This is not a 4-coil. It's not an offset. This is just a standard closed jaw Duke number 2.
They come in $11 each.
And that's cheap.
That's cheap. And if you buy them, say from Murray's or somewhere like that, if you buy them by the dozen,
They're even cheaper.
they're even cheaper.
Because what are they, like 110, 115 a dozen?
Yeah.
So essentially, if you buy a dozen traps, you're getting them for like $9 a piece.
Yeah.
That's super cheap for a trap. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We'll go ahead and we'll come right down to the next expensive, which is the Bridger number 2 offset dogless,
Those are $14.25 a piece.
which is still pretty affordable.
That's not bad.
And they're going to come in at about $142.50 a dozen.
Yep.
So like I said, if you buy a dozen of them, that knocks it down from $14.25 to about $12 to $13 a dozen. That's still cheap, and that's a really good trap. I am going to say something. If you're just planning on picking up a couple traps to try it, I would probably start with a Duke. But if you pick up a couple Dukes and you like the trap and you want a better trap, but you don't want to get the cheapness of a Duke, buy a Bridger. The savings is there. They're twice as good of a trap as Duke, and they barely cost any more. Barely. Yeah, they're just a great trap. And I would strongly suggest going with a dogless. There's no trap in this world that I like more than dogless. They're just great traps. We'll go ahead and we'll come down to the MB450, which is an amazing trap.
Those are $16.95 a piece.
So you got like $2 more than a Bridger number 2. That's a great trap. I've been trapping with this since I was a little kid.
Your kill area is not as big. but you're looking at a lot nicer made trap.
Yeah, high quality,
High
high quality. If you're looking for one of the highest quality Fox traps you can get, an MB450 is where it's at.
And that's still, buying from Murray's, you still get a deal if you buy 12 of them.
Yeah, so you're going to get them for even cheaper. It's a great deal. Now we're on to the MB550s.
They are $20.90 a piece.
A substantial jump in price. You're talking about a $2 jump in price all the way from this to a $5 jump in price.
But you could get this trap in so many options. You can get them in a rubber jaw 4-coil. You can get them in a 4-coil. You can get them just in a regular 2-coil. I mean, there's several different options, but they're different prices.
Yeah, yeah. And like we said, we're not discounting them. They're great traps.
They're great traps.
But I would not suggest to buy them for Fox. They're not a Fox trap. Now, arguably the highest quality trap that we have here is obviously the K9 Junior, and it's the most expensive. How much are they a piece?
These are $23.97 a piece.
So you're basically looking at $24 a piece, and they're the same deal. They're probably at $240 to $250 a dozen.
Yeah.
They're a super. I don't think that there's a K9 trap on the market that's higher quality than K9 Extremes.
They're just so thick on the frames, the jaws, just everything about these traps are just incredible.
They're a tank. I mean, they're just super.
And they're a dogless on top of all that.
Yeah, they're the best of all of these put together. I mean, they're an amazing trap, but once again, they're expensive. So if you're a new trapper, unless you've got the budget and you do not care, I would not buy that at first. I would try it. I would go with one of the cheaper options, see if you like the trap, and guess what? If you love it and you've got the money, I'd buy it, because that's a trap that if you wax and dye it every year, that's a generational trap.
It's a lifetime trap for you and for the next several generations. If you take care of your traps, they will last you forever.
Yeah. So now you know our opinions. I have went ahead and I've talked about what my favorite Fox trap is, but Adam, out of all these, what do you think that the best Fox trap is?
Me personally, if it was just straight Fox and I didn't have to worry about nothing else, I'd go with the MB450. This is how I am. It's how I roll. And that way, if I catch anything else, it's still going to be there.
Exactly. So you've heard it from both of us. Both of us agree that the MB450 is by far the best Fox trap. It's good for red fox, gray fox, cross fox. It don't matter what you're going for. It's very reasonable priced, only $4 more a piece than a Duke, which is not even a quarter of the quality. An absolute great trap. We appreciate you guys coming out today. If you enjoyed the episode, leave us a like. If you have any questions, or whether it has to do with traps or trapping or lure or bait, it doesn't matter what it is, leave us a comment, and then give us a share. Follow us. Thanks, and have a great day.